Hi, it's Mrs. Stitches or Sheila. Hi, everybody. Today's date is October 16th, 2025. This is Vlog-O-Ween number 16. It's funny. I noticed that the numbers of viewers, so everyone who is there with me right now out there, all of you are my faithful ones because the numbers really drop down, and I understand it's a lot to watch every single day. We finally got rain. It's a drizzly day out there, but good day for stitching. Yesterday went really well. I was gone for about 5 hours, so I didn't get a ton of stitching done. So I'm a little bit light on my stitch content, but we'll do the Advent and then my 2 whips, and then maybe a short little chat. We'll see. Okay, so 16 today? Did I say 16? I think I said 15. Looks like it's 16. Oh, I might have said the wrong date. Oh, October 16th. Yeah, it is October 16th. Okay, let's see what we got. Oh, that's nice. Wow. Holy moly, that's a lot of bob drops. Yes, you read that right. A bobbin and a floss drop all in one. Try it. So we got bob drops. There looks like at least 20 here. Let's see, 3, 6, 10. Yeah, I'd say there's about 20. Look at that. Bob drops. Perfect. That's absolutely perfect. Okay, so I was working this morning on my Stitch Along by Paint with Stitches. And I'm bringing this is going to come down to about there, and then it splits off into legs on either side. So I think I've done about 5 rows, and I think I go down to 12 rows, and then the split comes. So I'm cruising along on the table, and then there's going to be 2 pumpkins at the top. So, but I got till the 20th. So I got at least 3 more days. 17. Yeah, I got 3 more days before I have to get this done before the next part. So coming along on that. Oh, I made this morning. It's not perfect, but I made this little pumpkin. I saw this at the tea and tickets we went to, and I've seen them kind of in other places. So this is my first one. It's my prototype, but kind of cute, eh? So we'll just leave that. I was kind of thinking I could almost sell that at a craft show. But they're made out of sweaters, out of the sleeves of sweaters. And my husband just went through some of his old clothes, and we might make them out of also the legs of long johns. And then what else did I work on yesterday? Mostly worked on my Sleepy Hollow of Glendon Place. This was yesterday's trick that was called. And so I worked on down here in this grass area, but I'm getting really lost right here, and I'm afraid I've made an error. So I'm going to work on this for the rest of the month, but I'm going to start doing the horse's legs down just to get some more bearings. I clued in what's difficult is she actually has on the forefront page is the grayed out area. So it's kind of weird because if you just worked up to the grayed out, you have to realize that you've done the next 2 stitches on the next. It's just backwards. It's backwards. So I shall show you where I worked. And it is slow going too. Now that could be the fabric, but so this is where I was working, and I'm getting really confused in this area right now. So I'm going to bring the horse down and his leg and see if I can sort it out. But I did do the skull, and I did the rest of this grass down here, and I finished off. There was a little bit of the tombstone there to do, but that's what I was working on yesterday. And it doesn't look like about 4 or 5, probably 3 hours worth of work. So I didn't work on watchers. I probably put, I put like 3 stitches in it. So I didn't come up to show you that. So I'm going to work on this daily now, or try to. I'm going to try to focus on as much as I can. I was thinking a thread a day or 30 minutes a day. So we'll see which I decide on. And yeah, yesterday went really well. I had a great day in town. I went and met with the bank, and then I picked up a prescription, and then I went did a tiny bit of like just walking into stores looking for things, and then came home. It was a beautiful day. It was the really nice autumnal day. It was, I think, around 17 degrees Celsius, and there was sun and some cloud. It was really, really nice. And today is our day off. Tomorrow we are traveling. I have a dentist appointment, just a brief one, a filling. And my husband has a physio appointment. So we're kind of combining the two because they're over near Yarmouth area. So that's a ways away. And then the next day we're going to go to the city, which is Halifax. And we're taking our birds to get their nails done and pick up some items that we only can get in the city. So that's going to be a long day. So be prepared. Coming up is going to be some short floss tubes. So, or Vlog-O-Weens. So let's, you know what? Now I was going to cover some more. Well, let me look at the list of questions. So, I'm going to, well, let's do this. Okay. SD Crilly asked me, how did we move out east, or why did we pick moving out east from the West Coast? So when we got married, we picked Newfoundland for our honeymoon. We picked it because it was the one province neither of us had been to, and my family roots are in Newfoundland. My maiden last name was Dawe, D-A-W-E, which is a very common name in Newfoundland. That's my father's name, obviously. And so we picked Newfoundland to explore. And my husband thought, well, you could also be doing a bit of ancestry type stuff. But we just really enjoyed being in Newfoundland. And when we first met, we always talked about how fun it would be to actually live in every single province. And so we were kind of almost even looking. So we had already looked a bit around BC, but it was way too expensive. So anyways, we were looking around in Newfoundland. Prices were reasonable. And we actually, on our honeymoon, put in an offer on a house and got it accepted right in St. John's. And it was a beautiful, spectacular view right of the harbor. If anyone knows the St. John's, it was on Battery Road. And so it was near the end of Battery Road. And so Battery Road is actually a very narrow road going right along the coast. And you're at the base of the hill of, I think is it called the Cabot Towers? There's a national parks old fort at the very top, which was the fortification for St. John's. And there's all along, there's like Battery would be the cannons, and they're in different places. So it was a neat place. There wasn't a lot of parking. We did an inspection, and the inspection had some red flags, and I got scared and we backed out of the deal. But our heart at that point was set on the East Coast. The East Coast, compared to the West Coast, now there's parts of the West Coast that are affordable, but it is more affordable. And we don't, if there's a cheaper place, especially if you're retiring, if there's a cheaper place to live, why wouldn't you live there? And so what we wanted was to see the ocean, to see some activity in the ocean too. So we don't just want the wide open ocean, because then that can just become background. You actually want to see boats and things. So St. John's would have been a really spectacular place to have lived. It is a city, so it would have been a lot different from the life we have right now. I'm where we are now in Freeport on Long Island, which was another question, is ideal for us. It is super, super quiet. We are in a town of about 250. There is one tiny little corner store type thing. There's a school here for school kids. So it's got some activities and such, but we are I sit and cross stitch all the time. So it's perfect. I got my little library group for doing my fiber days and my book clubs. And we have some quiet roads we can walk the dog on or do walks ourselves. And we have a view of the ocean with a ferry going back and forth, or when with the lobster fishing going in and out, or the whale watching boats. So there's activities to see. And then of course there's the actual animal life. So we are in a migration path of birds. And so we get lots and lots of bird life. It's amazing. And then there's the whales and the dolphins and the porpoises and the seals. And it's just, it's a wonderful, wonderful spot. Of course, it does have its downsides. So we are far away from any medical appointments, from banking, from pharmacy, from big shops, clothes. All of those are big trips, minimally 3-hour trips, like just for there and back. That's just getting to places, to any place. So that's, they, certain things like next week when I go for my doctor's appointment, that will be, we're going to leave here probably at 10 o'clock and not be back till around 6 o'clock. They're just full day trips. They take a long time. But that's okay. That's and then it's hard to get the services out here just because we are so isolated. But the isolated is what we like. So it's always a plus minus thing. So that's a little bit of why we picked the West or East Coast, and a little bit of why we picked Freeport. But I'm going to tell more about that in a later story, because there is a bit more of a story about that. I think it's a good one. But the West or East Coast versus West Coast was a combination of, the West Coast was getting busy and crowded, and we were done with that life. We were tired of all the traffic, all the people. There were too many people on the West Coast. So we were looking for a quieter life. The East Coast had it. The East Coast is more affordable. We just happened to go to Newfoundland on our honeymoon just because it was sort of like, we'd never been to that province, and we fell in love with the East Coast. We really, really did. So I am always happy to be here. And the funniest thing is when I was younger and working, like in my 20s, I always dreamed of retirement. It is pretty close to what I got. It kind of hit me afterwards. The dream that I had, I'm kind of living it. It's the house, the situation, the place that I'm living in. It's all kind of all come together. So that's great. So that's my semi story for today. I will give you another story a little later on why we actually specifically picked where we are. But for now, I'm going to let you go, let you get back to stitching, and I shall see you tomorrow. The next two will probably be really short ones, and they may come out in the evening especially on Saturday, if I don't have time to do it in the morning, because we'll probably be leaving early. But I will try to do them first thing in the morning, and they just might be short ones, but that's okay. You don't always want 15-minute ones from me. Take care, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.